Okay, a little video about being frustrated and a little success. So this is about my windows and doors. If you've been following my build, you've seen that I had issues with the windows in the past. Had some glass defects. I had some spider webbing with the butyl between the window panes internally. And I continue to have issues with the grids falling off. It's double-sided tape. I used alcohol to clean the glass. Put the grid back on, but they continue to fall off. No big deal. I can overlook that. I can even remove the grid. Pinnacle did send a man over from the East Coast somewhere, and this guy was from Europe, but he lives in the States. Very passionate about his work, and he really took care of my situation. He spent a day here and was very enthusiastic, and you know, all that was good. No complaints, but I wish my grids would stay on. As for the slider, if you remember, the slider door arrived with the stile on the outside delaminating and marred up. So Pinnacle sent me a replacement frame, and I went ahead, and it was my responsibility to take the glass out and replace the glass into the new frame. I said, okay, we could do that. All right. Didn't want to do it, but we could do that. Keep in mind the tear weight of that panel is 330 pounds. So that's with pallets, all that stuff. But so they're heavy doors is my point. This is all triple pane. So just recently I noticed my soft close mechanism isn't working, and I noticed these scratches in the door. I don't know if you could see the scratches. There they are. Okay. Now, keep in mind, we have not used this door more than a couple times. The deck has not been built. There's about a 4-foot drop down, and we haven't used the door. So why the slider wasn't functioning is, I don't know. I'm told because we weren't doing this. It's got to be open. I understand that. The rollers lift up. Talk to the reseller, and it was almost like, hey, do you have kids there? You know, thinking maybe kids were opening this door, not opening the door properly. So I tried Zooming with Pinnacle. The Zoom went unanswered. A couple of emails went back and forth. I finally contacted the Pinnacle window and was told that I should have a tool that came with this door to actually reset the closing mechanism. There's a closing mechanism. Let me show you. Up on top of this door, back in there. When you close it, the mechanism hits this tab, which in turn engages a hydraulic piston and slows the door. So it's called a soft close. Okay. So after going back and forth with a gentleman there, I was told that I should have this tool. I said I don't have a tool, so they shipped me a tool, and I said, hey, this thing is not adjusting. Okay, well, you need shims to bring that little tab down. So they sent me some shims. The shims were bad shims. The shims were actually, I shouldn't say bad, they weren't the correct shims. They were for leveling these windows. I was told there was a new office worker. We'll get the new shims out to you. So the new shims came. I shimmed it down. Still didn't close properly. So in the meantime, I have a screen door that has a cassette. So if you can imagine a big cassette over here, and you pull the screen door and it closes into a channel with a magnetic strip that holds it closed. And then when you open it, it retracts into that cassette. So I went to work on that. It was still in the box, took it all in the box, and there was no C-clips. The C-clips hold the cassette onto the stile, if stile's the right word. Don't know if you could see, but I drilled a bunch of holes in my door. Let's see if I can get this. Let me put my finger on it. There it is. There they are. All right, so I have the holes there, there, and there. I have a hole down here. I'm glad I didn't start going further with it. Anyways, I'll tell you why I didn't, because I got the directions out. I put them on this table. It's still under construction around here, so I have a mess. And I couldn't find my directions, so I got online. I found the directions. I read them, and then I needed to write some dimensions down so I could cut the channels and fit the door. Well, after I read them, I came over here, and it's one of those things, you see the trees, but you don't see the forest, vice versa. These are the directions. They were right on top. I was looking through that. So I started writing things down and noticed the directions that I have did not align with the directions online. So I had two sets of directions. I called the manufacturer. They sent me a third set of directions, said, no, they're all wrong. The manufacturer is Larson. So I called them back, and let's see, that third set of directions was completely wrong. Didn't really match the door. So I called back. They gave me a fourth set of directions. And they said, this is the truth. This is the source of truth. Use these directions. Move forward. So I wanted, you could do a flush mount or an internal mount. Obviously, I tried to do the internal mount here. So I went to mount it. There's C-clips. I didn't have C-clips. So they sent me C-clips. Started cutting, of course, every time somebody has to send me something, that's another week delay, right? So I'm probably going on 6 or 7 weeks now from when I just wanted to move forward and get things fixed and installed. So the C-clips arrive. I drilled the holes. I put the C-clips on. I went to put it together, and the metal did not fit correctly. It was cut too short. I cut it exactly as calculated. I verified that with the vendor. And what I ended up with was a pile of scrap metal. There's the cassette and channels. You can see the handle there. So I called the vendor. I was very frustrated at this time. The vendor, I told the vendor, I said, hey, how about you guys give me a deep discount? I'll give you guys the dimensions. You guys cut it. I'll just buy a new door if you give me a deep discount. He said, I'll one-up you. He said, I'll provide the door to you free of charge. Give me the dimensions. I'll give you a code. You take it to the vendor. We'll order it, whatever. We're still in the process of that. So all in all, I'm happy with that. I wish I didn't have holes in my door. So back to the door rather. So we're getting back to the soft close discussion. Gosh, there's so much that went on here. So we kind of got in what I'm going to say is a somewhat heated argument. I feel that I was defending myself, I guess. I was told about how there's lots of problems when you build a house, and they have multiple houses going on, and there's lots of problems there. I don't care about the rest of my house when it comes to this door. I don't care about other houses. The focus is this door. That's all I care about. I'm the customer. I should get a door, install it. The screen, I should just be able to move forward. I shouldn't have to mess around with my windows, my door, replace glass, replace stiles, 2 screen doors. So I'm emotionally invested here. Yes, I was frustrated, but I felt like it was an argument to explain my point. So let's see, I won't go on too far here. Stay to the end. I'm not trying to slam Pinnacle windows here. I do recommend them, and I'll explain more in a minute. So when I made a report about the soft close not working and the scratch window, which I may have very well done when I had to replace the glass to put it in the faulty frame, I was given the opportunity for a quote on a new sheet of glass, right? So right there it told me, okay, I have to fund the glass for a problem that was caused that was out of my control. I was also told that the soft close mechanism, when I said that, I kind of tired of working on this door. I just want a door that works. I understand they don't have people in this area. But I was also told, well, you didn't even know there was a soft close mechanism in that door, and you could take that soft close mechanism door and it'll operate just like any American door. Well, that's not what I bought. There's things that come with automobiles that you buy that you're unaware of. When they're there, you expect them to work. That's the way I see it. So long story short, my screen door is going to be repaired. They sent me a new soft close mechanism. Here's the soft close mechanism. And there's the little cylinder that slows it down. And I was very pleased. They sent me a new sheet of glass. So that's behind wood. It's out of the way. It's not going to get hurt. I just don't want to take the window out while it's cold right now. I'll wait to see if we get a little warmer weather. You can see I have a couple of old faulty panels back there from prior issues. So all in all, as I stated, I'm emotionally invested in this. Yes, I'm going to be frustrated. I felt like I had to argue somewhat to get my point through to Pinnacle. However, they completely took care of me outside of me having to do more work on my own door. I would continue to do business with them. If I ever build a new house, who knows what the future brings, I will use them again. I recommend this company, especially since in the end, they took care of me, and that's really all I care about. So this is not a slam or negative banter about Pinnacle. It's just a little frustration being exhausted here on my behalf. You know, I think the sellers need to understand that, you know, the customer's always right. They should take that attitude. Even if they're not always right, it makes things go a little better. So that has been my experience. Yes, I do recommend them. Yes, I had some difficulty and frustration, but the end result, I'm happy.